Welcome back to AiZenTools. In today's video, I'm going to show you a tool that can help you save time, create faster, and make your workflow so much easier. I'll walk you through how it works, what makes it so useful, and whether it's actually worth trying in the first place. So let's get straight into it.
Every business today runs on data, but collecting that data is usually messy. You search manually, copy information between websites, clean spreadsheets, write scraping logic, and spend more time preparing information than actually using it. That is where Decodo comes in. Decodo is a data collection and web intelligence platform designed to help you gather information directly from the web at scale. It can pull live search results, scrape websites, collect structured data from e-commerce, social, and general web sources, and return everything in formats that are immediately usable. What makes it interesting is that it goes beyond just downloading page content. With templates, APIs, proxy infrastructure, structured extraction, and AI parsing, Decodo helps turn raw web pages into organized datasets that can feed research, automation, analytics, and business workflows. The setup is honestly one of the strongest parts. I sign up, open the dashboard, grab my API credentials, and make the first successful request. That is important because this kind of build only works if the time to value is fast. I do not want a 40-minute setup section before the actual project even starts. Then I start with the actual data source. A good first move is to pull live search results for the topic I want to research. Then scrape the top pages behind those results. And this is where Decodo becomes really useful beyond just returning raw HTML. It gives me structured data across search, e-commerce, social, and general websites. And it supports output in formats like JSON, HTML, CSV, XHR, PNG, and Markdown. It also has an AI parser, which is a big deal because it means I do not have to write custom parsing logic every single time just to turn raw page content into something usable. For the AI layer, I like this build most as a live data research pipeline. Instead of scraping pages in one script, manually cleaning them somewhere else, and only later passing them into the model, the flow becomes much tighter. Live web in, structured data out, AI answer on top. That is the shift. It stops being AI talking from memory and starts being AI working with current information. And this is where I would show the real difference on screen. First, ask the assistant something current without live data, and watch how limited the answer feels. Then, run the same question through the workflow with Decodo feeding in fresh results and scraped pages. That contrast is the whole point. Suddenly, the answer is grounded in current pages, current sources, and current signals. It is not just AI sounding smart. It is AI working with a live data pipeline behind it. Once the first request works, the dashboard becomes the place where everything starts coming together. Instead of jumping between different tools, I can see my requests, monitor usage, manage credentials, and keep the whole workflow organized in one place. It makes experimentation feel fast because I always know where my data is coming from and what step comes next. There are also analytics and management features inside the dashboard that help keep everything visible. I can review activity, understand how requests are performing, and adjust the workflow without rebuilding everything from scratch. That feedback loop becomes useful when moving from a simple experiment into something that actually scales. One thing I like is the template section. Instead of starting from an empty configuration every time, I can choose a ready setup depending on what I want to collect. Search results, websites, e-commerce pages, social platforms. The templates remove most of the repetitive setup and make it easy to move directly into testing ideas. For demos and rapid research, that speed matters. And once the data starts flowing, integrations make the process feel much bigger than a scraper. The output does not have to stay inside Decodo. I can connect it into my existing workflow, send structured results to other tools, automate processing, or use API to feed applications and internal systems. That means I am not just collecting information. I am building something that can continue running after the research phase is finished. And that is Decodo. From getting started in minutes to collecting live data, scraping websites, structuring information, and connecting everything into a larger workflow, it turns what is usually a technical process into something much more accessible and faster to execute. So if you want to try it yourself, start with the free Scraping API plan, up to 2,000 requests for a full year, no credit card needed. And when you're ready to scale, use my code for 10% off your first paid plan. Link is in the description.